everyone, what's going on? Welcome to 2 Minutes to Review. It's Matt.
And it's Zach.
Our album review show, this time taking a turn, a little uncharted territory, going more into the pop side of things. You click the picture. It is the latest album from Adele with 30.
Dare I say, there really aren't many blockbuster music moments anymore when it comes to new album releases. And yeah, it's a little bit more on the pop side than what we typically cover. I would argue that this is probably the most anticipated album of not just 2021, but maybe even, dare I say, the past 5 years. It's been 6 years since Adele released a new album. She is one of the best-selling musicians out there, one of the most acclaimed for her voice and for her personal approach to the songs. And she's gone through a lot during these 5 years, through divorce, through also just becoming a mother. So definitely, for someone who everyone knows, whether you're even a fan of Adele or not, for someone who produces songs that really touch a personal note, just a lot of anticipation going into this record to hear what she would sound like, what she was going to touch on, how she was going to touch on it. So it's important for us to at least give it a listen and let you know our honest thoughts, whatever they really mean.
Rumor has it that's all true.
Oh, nice. I'm so glad I'm hosting with someone like you.
Aww.
Yeah. And see, this is a tender episode. So we're going to each be battling it out to see who can give the longest review in under 2 minutes. Yeah, fair warning, this episode's not 2 minutes long. Never claimed it would be. And of course, we're going to probably geek out over this album or just go on and on about it even after our review. So buckle up for a long episode. Fair warning, commenters. But before we get into it, a special shout out to one of our sponsors, Rootless Coffee. They're based out of Flint, Michigan. They produce some really interesting, bold flavors of coffees and blends. And they even pair up with podcasts like us to produce our own blends of coffee. The Epic Footnote Roast. However, big alert, time is running out to order a bag of Epic Footnote Roast. That's right. At the end of November, you will no longer be able to buy a new bag of Epic Footnote Roast. So if you already bought one and you think, that was so good, I need to stock up now, now's the time to stock up. If you also have some coffee-loving family members or loved ones who also love music and you need a holiday gift, now's the time to buy it. And they also have some really great Black Friday promos going on already. Also, use the code EPICROAST to get 15% off of an order on any of their other blends, of their original blends, I should say. Take advantage of it now. Time's running out to buy the Epic Footnote Roast. Do it now at rootlesscoffee.com. You're not going to be disappointed. I guarantee that.
Yeah, it's really good coffee. I'm rolling deep in some coffee from them. So if you haven't tried it yet, you need to.
Oh, I applaud you on that.
Cheers to that.
Wow. Well done, sir.
Oh, I came ready. I came ready for this one.
Well, hello. Yeah,
from the other side of the coffee?
From the other side of the cup. So, Matthew, would you like to go first or would you like me to go first?
I will be the gentleman here and I will let you go first.
Oh, shucks. Well, then, let me know when it's time for me to do it.
I wish I didn't use the rumor has it pun because it would have been great here too.
No, you can. Well, no, first off, you can.
Well, rumor has it you're supposed to stay under 2 minutes, and you normally don't. But
that is a good one too. All right, kick me off.
30, 25, 19, go.
That's not fair. So, to be honest, there's definitely some moments that are a little bit jarring on this record. Namely, when the home recordings on songs like My Little Love kick in. But then, once you realize that it's a really personal conversation between her and her son about the changes that are happening and how she still loves him, it pulls on your heartstrings a little bit. And I also definitely do love how there's playfulness elements here, and especially with songs like Cry Your Heart Out and Oh My God. You definitely hear the Amy Winehouse influence on these songs, more so than you have in the past. I mean, it's clear she's been an influence on her, but definitely evident here. And I think Can I Get It is probably one of the most upbeat Adele songs since Rolling in Deep, which is saying a lot. Really what it comes down to is her vocal performance is amazing. And it really does, this whole album does a great job of capturing not just the pains of divorce, but also more, even just the broader growing pains that anyone over 30 experiences with any topic. I mean, even with those hints of playfulness, this is dare I say, Adele's most mature album to date. And songs like I Drink Wine, Can I Get It, and Woman Like You really find her getting a lovely balance of just uncertain emotional weight that she's known for, but really injecting a more new sense of newfound confidence. And I love how this album really is a kind of great balance between grief and celebration, mourning the loss of her, quote, nuclear family, while really trying to find solace in her newfound freedom from this major change in her life. So really, if you're looking for a mature, emotional album, Adele's 30 is there for you.
All right, there we go. We have a review.
Why do you say it like that?
Because you had a review. What do you want me to say? I got a time.
All right.
All right. And how many stars out of 5?
I'm going to give this 3.5.
Okay.
Very close to 4. I mean, her vocal performance, without a question, is definitely a 4 to 5. The song's definitely not as strong or maybe as memorable upon first listen, I should say, to her past stuff. I'm sure that eventually I'm going to have I Drink Wine stuck in my head for many, many months to come. And there's definitely some, I noticed, without going too much further down the rabbit hole, because I want to give you your chance to try to beat me in my fabulous review. I definitely noticed that sometimes it was a little odd to go from songs that were definitely more on the urban modern side of influence and solace, and then suddenly kind of go into more of the orchestral jazz. It just felt like a little weird contrast sometimes. Not that it was bad, but a little jarring at certain points. That made it kind of hard for me to stay focused during the album. But I'm sure we'll go further into that after Matthew, you give your lovely review.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Here we go. 3, 2, hello from the other side.
So I actually really enjoyed the album from the perspective of that Adele didn't stay in one place too long on here. It's like songs like Cry Your Heart Out really kind of took me by surprise, because there is a reggae feel to the song that I just didn't know that Adele really had in her. So that was really good. But I was also kind of taken back on other songs like Strangers by Nature, because it really had like a dark, mysterious 60s funeral feeling to her, if those words go together at all. I mean, I guess it signified the death of her marriage, but I honestly believe that a song like Oh My God should have really been the first single off the album. Maybe some people are going to say, well, you know, she did put her most personal song out there. And yeah, I can kind of see that. Like, you know, Easy on Me isn't, you know, a bad song, but it's just not a song that really is going to drag people into the album maybe the way that it should have. But I guess she's really putting herself out there on this album because it is so personal to her. And, you know, there are certain things on this album that she actually still did talk to her ex-husband about, because she still likes to get his perspective on things. And it's awkward from that perspective, because Woman Like Me is like an untraditional bash track. And one of the lines in here is, complacency is the worst trait to have. Are you crazy? You ain't never had a woman like me. It's so sad. A man like you could be so lady. Consistency is the gift to give for free, and it's key to keep a woman like me. And it is directly at her husband, because this whole album is really about that. So it's like, how do you ask his opinion on things and write a track like that? And finally, I'm going to say that I never thought I'd be talking about a Led Zeppelin song with this review, but Can I Get It? I would be 100% surprised if this song was not directly inspired by Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven.
Out of 5 stars, what would you give?
So this is really hard to give a star rating on this one, because this album is very personal and it is directly about her divorce. I don't know how you could give a star rating to any music that's this personal. I would say, if I had to give anything from a musical perspective, not even the content of the songs, I would say probably 3. But okay, to be fair, this is her album about her divorce and her life kind of falling apart. So I take that, you know, that 3-star with a huge grain of salt.
That's fair. And, you know, and fair to say also about my star ranking too. grain of salt too, because it is a personal record. Two things I wanted to call out about your review. First, I'm glad that you thought the same thing about Woman Like Me. First off, her vocal performance is incredible on that track. But I don't know if you watched the Oprah interview as well, but one of the things she talked about, she revealed a lot of great things during the interview, but she also talked about how she still talks to, her husband. They're still friendly. And which is why I was like, oh, wow, this song is awkward given that context. If I didn't know that, I'd be like, oh yeah, there you go. Spill the tea. And otherwise it was like, oh wow, this is kind of a left turn.
I'll give these guys a shout out too. I didn't see the Oprah interview, but there was a radio station that my wife listens to out of Atlanta. The morning show is called The Burt Show, and I actually was listening to their interview, and she revealed this on there as well and went into a few other things that I was kind of like, oh, that's interesting. Okay.
You know what, though? I think something maybe it's worth calling out to is that in a way, a lot of her past songs, this is probably her most lyrically confident song. If you think about how in this one, she's like, no, I'm a great woman. And it's almost kind of, if you think of it from most of the albums talking about all the self-doubt she was trying to address or just how she was trying to stay strong, this is her song going, no. You know what? I am great. So in that way, it's kind of special if you think of it.
It's funny that you say that because also in that interview, she did go on to say that she thought that she had a lot of emotional intelligence, and it turned out that she had absolutely none prior to going through all this. So she really kind of figured out who she was and learning how to be more emotionally intelligent throughout this whole divorce, breakup, album writing process. So I would say that definitely reflects in the music on here.
I think also maybe what makes me a little biased in regards to how much I enjoyed this album, because I definitely enjoyed it. And I kind of was touching upon this, how at first I was a little thrown off of the home recordings of her conversations with her and her son. But then to hear just how vulnerable she's sounding on those tracks. And the reason why I'm saying I'm biased because I have not infants anymore, the toddlers. Ugh, I don't like saying that out loud. But maybe just being a parent, and I'm not even going anywhere near close to what she was going through personally, but knowing the impact having a kid can have and how just that act alone is life-changing, and how suddenly your own emotions change. You're no longer thinking about yourself. You think you know love until you have kids. Sorry to get too deeply personal here, but like, it's hard to not like this album when it's like kind of touching on that, those heartstrings. And that alone could have been a wealth of material. And suddenly having this greater responsibility than anything in the world that you thought you had. And I kind of go back to what I was saying in my review, in that even if you're not going through a divorce, going through parenthood, I feel like you can relate to the struggles that she's experiencing if you are over the age of 30. And she's even said in interviews, she doesn't care about making music for TikTok. She wants to make music for the 30 to 40-year-olds. Now, I do want to, the second thing I wanted to call out, which I found bizarre, to be honest, in your review.
Go on.
One of my favorite songs off the album was Can I Get It? And I love you, Matt. We're getting tender in this episode. However, I deeply am concerned that you hear Stairway to Heaven. Like, out of all the songs, this is where you hear Stairway to Heaven?
Yup. You go back and listen to Stairway to Heaven and listen to the second half of the song after the solo, and you tell me that this song was not at all influenced by that, because the riff, it sounds just like the Stairway riff in reverse.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. Regardless, though, I would say that's a huge standout song as well, because it's not the kind of song, it both is and isn't the kind of song you'd expect to hear from Adele, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It does.
It's a good, I feel like that could be a huge hit and could become a staple of her live performances. I'd be lying if I said that this was maybe better than 21. I should also say that when we did if you have to pick 3 episode of the best albums from the 2010s, as soon as we finished recording, or as soon as we published it, I realized how wrong I was, because I forgot that Adele's 21 came out during that decade, and that album 21 is just hands down one of the best to come out of that decade. I don't think this album is better than that, but I think it is a great addition to, I think it only solidifies Adele's presence in the music world. I don't know if you feel that strongly or if you would agree.
I mean, Adele has carved out her name and she definitely has a unique sound, a unique presence, and I feel like this is almost like, and I kept thinking this too, like this is very like Nancy Sinatra-ish, and she's always sounded like Nancy Sinatra, and has always had that, that 50s, 60s, maybe even late 40s style singing to her. So, I think she's carved out her own niche from the beginning. That's just my opinion.
Before we get into the times, do you think this album is worth the hype?
Is it worth the hype? Once again, I think if you are looking for like a banger album, quote unquote, from Adele, you're not going to find it here.
Well, when you say banger, do you mean like
full of singles and, things that, you're going to like pump up in your car and, try to get your hype if you go to the gym, like Rolling in the Deep. I could see people listening to that in the gym.
Actually, so it's funny. I'm glad you said that. Before I let you finish, just because during the CBS Oprah special, she performed songs in front of people, and when she did Rolling in Deep, everyone finally got up to their seats and started kind of like dancing into it. And she goes, "Thank you all for doing that, and I'm glad you did, because hate to tell you this, that's the only song you're going to be dancing to tonight." Like she acknowledged it, like she doesn't have that many kind of bangers.
No,
but that's not what we go to Adele for.
No, and it's nice when you get a song like that from her, but this is a very different album. This is a cathartic album. This is an album that you listen to when you're going through something similar to what she went through. It's definitely not an everyday album. It's definitely maybe not an every year album, but it's an album that will hold meaning to somebody who's feeling or going through the same things that she did. So I think that, you need to look at this album from that perspective. You can't look at it from, I like music. I like Adele. I'm going to put this on my iPhone or my Android if you're weird.
Screw you.
But you're not going to have it on here as like an everyday album. Maybe if you like Cry Your Heart Out, or maybe if you like Can I Get It or Oh My God. But outside of that, it's all about going through the same things that she did.
I mean, I don't know whether or not this is some people might consider this an everyday record, and some might, but I think you hit the nail on the head. It is a cathartic album. And I think, well, I don't know if this was her debut album, I don't know if it would have the same impact, but to me, it's worth all the hype in that it is a beautiful addition to the time capsule that Adele has created for herself of each album. With that said, let's get into the most important part of this show, the times. Matt, we were supposed to give reviews in under 2 minutes. What was my time?
So like I said, rumor has it you're supposed to stay under 2 minutes. You did your best. You actually set fire to the rain, but you came in at 2 minutes and 1 second.
And dare I say, this is as admittedly rare as the sky falling. I'm not proud of that pun.
Womp womp.
You came in at 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah.
So I guess I win?
I guess someone like you can win this one. That's fine.
Oh, thanks. Well, when you're done feeling all the emotions from listening to the album 30, and now that you're done hearing Matt and I just go on and on about this album,
you want to know before we ask them for their opinion, I wanted to say one last thing.
Uh-oh.
And you heard it here first.
Uh-oh.
I believe she's the Queen of Hearts on The Masked Singer.
No.
Yes.
The Queen of Hearts. Could have sworn they already revealed that one.
Nope.
And it's also not her. You're wrong.
It is her.
You're so wrong.
Nope.
You
heard it here first.
Wrong.
Nope.
You're so wrong. It's embarrassing.
I'll give you one last little tidbit. So put this all together. She has a song on here, and we've talked about it. It is called Cry Your Heart Out, and that heart on that stage is crying.
No.
Yep.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Ugh.
You heard it here first.
Rumor has it that you're so wrong. It's not even funny. I don't care how many times we use this pun. I don't care how played out it is. It's so ugh. Well, now I gotta go try to forget the fact that Matt just said that. But we want to hear what you think. Do you agree with our thoughts on Adele's latest album, 30? Do you disagree wholeheartedly? do we know what we're talking about? Let us know on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Epic Footnote. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can check out more podcasts like this, even some videos that are pretty cool, dare I say. And once again, thank you so much to Rootless Coffee. Again, go to rootlesscoffee.com. Not only use the code EPICROAST to get 15% off of their own blends, but before time runs out, go buy a bag of Epic Footnote Roast. It's our own coffee. It's going to only be available until the end of November. Get it now while you can. You're not going to regret it. It's delicious. If you have even family members or loved ones who love coffee, this is a great gift for them. Do it now.
Stuff those stockings. And also, don't forget that we do have our own beard balms and oils from Lucky 13. We did the brand new one, the Lemmy. It smells amazing. Bourbon, cola, tobacco, leather, all of the things that Lemmy from Motorhead loved. If you have anybody who loves beard oil at all, they are going to love this one. Head on over to lucky13beardco.com. And you can even use the code EFP10 at checkout. Get 10% off your order. Lucky13beardco.com.
Thanks so much for listening, and we hope you join us for another episode real soon.
Let's get some wine.
Can I get it?